Fog Entertainment back again with another movie review, and we are looking at the Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome when you're part of a team. More of a light-hearted movie today. Normally we're reviewing dramas, horrors, all that good stuff, but no, it's the Lego movie today. Came out in 2014, and I tell you what, troops, it's got a pretty star-studded cast. You know, you've got the likes of Will Ferrell in there, Chris Pratt, you've got Morgan Freeman, Jonah Hill, a lot of people. I mean, Liam Neeson's in there. I mean, Channing Tatum. Who else have you got in there? You've got Will Forte, and I man, just Will Arnett. And what I loved about it, you know, not only is it, you know, crazy, and it features a lot of like, you know, pop culture references, and you've also got like a lot of characters in there. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of like Batman and Superman, but I appreciate some of the stuff and some of the dialogues where Batman's like, "Are you trying to tell me a plane or a spaceship with hyperdrive is going to appear out of nowhere?" Oh, for come on! I mean, I thought stuff like it was like very family esque. If I'm being honest, I was like, but yeah, obviously, of course, you know, it's like a 6+ movie. The budget was like 60 million, and the box office it drew a lot. I'm not surprised because they kind of went all out. They kind of like, right, hold on, it's like the first movie that's ever going to be done like in Lego, so we may as well go absolutely all out here at this point. But again, we have got crazy glue. And that is essentially what happens here. We have got Morgan Freeman's character being killed essentially right at the beginning, and then we get like a time skip 8.5 years later, and we're introduced to our main character, Emmett, of course, played by Chris Pratt. And then there is a woman. Who is this woman? Turns out she is looking for the piece of resistance that we're hyping up, but turns out this piece of resistance is literally just the lid to some glue. And what I like about it, we meet some characters along the way, like him and Wildstyle running to Morgan Freeman's character. Of course, he's blind. Turns out Wildstyle's got a boyfriend, and his name is Batman. Like I've said, I've already kind of mentioned all these references before, but they go through like all these different dimensions, and I thought it was pretty cool going into like the West. Some of the dimensions were just completely unrealistic, but it's a Lego movie, troops. All right, it's a Lego movie. I'm not expecting the most crazy stuff here, but the thing is, the problem with Emmett, because this piece is stuck to him, he is referred to as the special, and he's found the piece of resistance. Oh yeah, and it's capable of stopping the crackle, but no one can quite believe that the big man himself ain't even a master builder, which at the big conference they have, you know, you've like the Green Lantern there, you've Superman, I mean, Batman was already there, you've other people, then they just can't quite believe it. They basically lose all faith. And I like Liam Neeson's character in this bad cop, and then when he turned his head around, it was good cop. Just stuff like that was pretty funny, and we see like his entire family get frozen, but it turns out like they're not getting frozen, they're kind of just getting stuck in place, which is like, you know, the big reveal, I guess, it is the fact that they're using super glue, which I thought was funny. We go through all these lands. We got a place like called Clyde Cuckoo Land. We're introduced to the pirate guy who tries to help them. He does help them. Then they build a submarine. You've also got like the 60s spaceman, which I thought was pretty funny as well. And then you got the scene where they think Batman's actually betrayed them, but it turns out he hasn't betrayed them. But we're going to go to Mr. Business's Tars, and we're going to lay the smackdown. But Emmett reveals that yes, you are all master builders, but the best work I ever did was when I was a construction worker, doing my basic job, but we all came up with a plan. How about we come up with a structured plan and we put your master building to the test? And that's exactly what we do. They come up with this plan, and for a movie at this point, up to this point, didn't really feel like rushed or whatever. Then like all of a sudden, like they're in there and they're doing it, and then like this plan goes awry because they end up getting captured. But then he sacrifices himself up the tower. He saves everyone and the master builders, and then basically we get everyone led by Wildstyle to take the fight to Business's forces. But turns out Emmett has actually fell off this like Lego structures that you would have, like, you know, if you're a kid or something. And it turns out he's in the human world now, and this is where we get introduced to a kid called Finn, who's turns out he's been playing with his father's like Lego set, and it's like, you know, it's more like of an adult thing this. And then his father comes down the stairs, and who is it? It's Will Ferrell. And I thought this was all pretty funny. And then essentially what it is that he doesn't want his son playing with his Lego, and his son has come up with this whole like, you know, imagination thing about Mr. Business as the guy upstairs. And I like this. And then eventually everything is turned good. Emmett enters a relationship with Wildstyle at the end of it after the father and son come together. They agree to play with the Lego, and then it turns out, oh no, you want to let my sister play? I don't want to let my sister play. Yeah, weird man. Batman just accepting to be a cuck at the end of the day. But yeah, and then all these creatures arrive in the Lego universe, and they threaten destruction because it's little sister's toys. And no Lego. We didn't want Lego. But you know what? It's a very fun movie. You know, like, what I like about these is, like, yeah, they're for kids, but, you know, they're still the adult-orientated jokes and all that good stuff, guys. So I'm going to give the Lego movie a solid 7.5 out of 10. I loved it. Star-studded cast and all that good stuff. But until then, peace.